Where could I possibly be today in my mystery location? Well, the big reveal. Bienvenue à Kapuskasing. Welcome to Kapuskasing, Ontario, and welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about Kapuskasing here uh, in a welcome center. So here we are at the Kapuskasing Welcome Center. And you might think Kapuskasing, where the heck is that? And okay, it's real easy to find. Okay, so if you manage to take the train to Toronto, Ontario, okay, and then you get off the train and then you find Yonge Street. So you take Yonge Street and you keep walking up Yonge Street for about 1,000 kilometers or 650 miles, maybe 640 miles, and you're in Kapuskasing. And Yonge Street's right there, except they call it the highway. So hey Shecky, it looks like a train museum, and you're right. So part of the this is the old train station. It's not used for passenger travel anymore, but this is how a lot of people came to this town when it first started up. So what happened was, and good morning, April. What happened was that this company called Kimberly Clark, it's a paper company. They were looking for some more newsprint for the New York Times. So they came to beautiful Northern Ontario. They set up a little pulp and paper mill, which is it's actually pretty big, and we're right by it. So we got the train station right across from the mill, and you might see in the background some trucks going by, and the main gate to the mill is just right there. So on the other side of this train station is the mill, and then they kind of built the town out from there. And it's like a really cool Canadian town. And dude, I see you there, man. And I've been to this museum. It's closed for the winter. It's the Ron Morel Museum. And so it's kind of like I've been to it in the summertime before, but it's closed for the winter, like I said. And so they had like Ron, his name was, I just read the plaque over there, so I sound like a real genius. So his name is Roland Morel, and but everybody called him Ron, I guess. And so he was really interested in trains, and he was a local guy here, and he managed to get his hands on, we got a caboose over here, a couple more cars, and at the front you can't really see it, but there is an engine up there, an old steam engine, so it looks pretty cool. And and it's like super Canadian. I never noticed it when I was here before. So here we are at the Kapuskasing Welcome Center, and I'm just looking around, and it's like, okay, we got the Legion over there. There's a Tim Hortons right across the street, and I'm looking at the beer store right there. So it's like, how much more Canadian you want to get? And it's pretty cool. So anyways, I'm just up here because I saw that there was like tropical weather here in Kapuskasing, because it's usually this time of year, like this actually is tropical for the locals here, because normally like right now it's about 6 degrees Celsius, or that's about 42 Fahrenheit. And that's about 15 to 20 degrees warmer than it normally is. In fact, this is actually the very first live stream I've ever done where it's above freezing. So it's pretty feeling good. The hands are feeling nice and warm. Might even whip out a whiteboard at some point. So so like I said before, this is only open in the summertime. And so I was thinking, well, what could you do in the wintertime here? And so I kind of have a plan to whip out my brand new whiteboard. Let's check this out. Okay, here we go. The imported whiteboard, my new one, second time in use. I don't know how. Look at that. Things to do in Kapuskasing. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm planning on doing. I've been up here a few times before, and so today I'm going to check out a few things. Now, the number one thing that I always do when I come up to Kapuskasing is I got to satisfy my consumerism bent. And we're going to go to this is a really cool store that I like to go to. Okay, looks like my marker's working okay too. Let's go. Might pop in there today, maybe tomorrow, but we're going to go to the Moonbeam Country Store. And I kind of like that Moonbeam Country Store. It's kind of weird because years ago I was living in Sault Ste. Marie, or was I in Sudbury? Anyways, I went into Value Village. It was like kind of like a used clothing store, and I just like, I need a T-shirt. So I got this T-shirt, and it said Kapuskasing, and I had never been to Kapuskasing. I don't know anything about it like at that time, and I bought this shirt. It says Kapuskasing, Moonbeam Country Store, Kapuskasing, conveniently located in the middle of nowhere. And I thought, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna get that shirt. It's kind of funny. And turns out years later, I ended up going to the Moonbeam Country Store. And it's kind of weird because the Moonbeam Country Store is in Kapuskasing, but there's actually a little town down the road called Moonbeam. So I don't know, maybe at one point it was there at first, or the people were from Moonbeam. But Moonbeam's got like a whole lot of cool trails and stuff like that, nature trails. They're kind of famous for that. And there's a whole lot of snow machines going around here. There's a big snowmobile trail that goes kind of all the way down the tracks, the railway tracks here that are still here, and they go really far. You see these guys ripping up and down, and there's a gas station right over here, so they just buzz across the highway, fill up their snow machines, buzz back on the trail, and off they go. So it's kind of cool. And I don't know if we'll hear any today, but saw a bunch yesterday. And so there we go. The Moonbeam Country Store. It's kind of cool. It's apparently now you can get a lot of stuff online from them. You never could before. So it's check out the Moonbeam Country Store. I'm going to see it live and in person. And for some reason, I always buy slippers there, and they always have my size. So that's pretty cool. And they also have, if you want to get a good fur hat, they have a selection of fur hats there that's pretty good too. Like a real fur hat. They're hard to find. So, and like all your winter gear, fantastic. So Moonbeam Country Store, going to stop off there at some point. Okay, number 2. Now here's a place that I've never been before, but I'm going to check it out this afternoon. I forget even the name of it, but I know it's this place that makes cheese. So, and you know what? The funny thing is, I don't even know the name in English of a place that like makes cheese, a cheesemaker place or dairy or something. But in French, there's a lot of French people up here. It's called a fromagerie because fromage is it's French for cheese. So I'm gonna check out the fromagerie here today. Apparently, one of the Nadeau kids was started it up a few years ago, and it's still in business. Apparently, they have really fantastic cheese. The guy was trained over in France how to do it. So in Little Kapuskasing, who would have known? Okay, so that's one other thing I'm going to do. What else am I going to do today? Or this weekend, or however long I'm here? See, no, that was it. Okay, beer store. I'm looking at the beer store. I might go there. What else can we do? I had, oh, geez, I had a few in my head, but I don't have my little notes that I usually do. Fromagerie, Moonbeam Country Store. Oh, and then maybe go to... Oh, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy some other thing. There's this stuff, and it's called creton. And I don't know what it's called in English or anything. You spell it like that, creton. And there might be a little accent on there that I'm not sure about how to spell. But this creton stuff, it's French people, they make this. And it's made out of, it's kind of like a pork. What would it be? It'd be like very finely ground pork with some spices, garlic and salt like that. And oh yeah, Shecky here says cheese curds. Yeah, well, probably I got to check out some cheese curds at the fromagerie. I know they make them and you can buy them fresh here, which is the best. You want the squeaky ones. But the creton is, I just had it for breakfast today where I was staying. And it's fantastic. And you can't buy it in the grocery stores where I live. So there's, I guess there's enough people around here that like their creton. And the best is one of the guys. The best creton I've ever had is from, well, let's call him Normand. He's Uncle Norm. He's yeah, he makes it himself, and it's really good. So you can't buy that. That's a special. You got to be in with the family to get that stuff, right? He's a great fisherman too, and oh man, Uncle Normand's fish is great. So okay, so I'm gonna. Gee, what do we got here? We got food, clothing, shelter. No, I'm not gonna buy any of that. So, anyways, that's about the only three things I'm really gonna do today. What else can I tell you about here? Oh, let's make this a little bit more. Let's make this a little bit more aviation related here. Okay, so if the pilots have left already, so there is an airport here in Kapuskasing, and so the town itself is about 8,000 people. So there's not a whole lot of air travel coming and going from here. Uh, just like you can't just hop on Delta or Air Canada and fly to Kapuskasing. But what they do have is a lot of charter flights right now come out of Kapuskasing. So if you're going to be kind of starting out as a pilot, you're probably going to end up in Canada, anyways, in Ontario. You're going to end up popping into the Kapuskasing airport at some point, and whether it's for a medevac or for a apparently what's happening is there's a whole lot of mines that are opening up north of here, because this is like north of here. I've flown just a little bit like north of. Well, I've flown up to James Bay before, and once you get past this highway, there's a couple logging roads, and then there's nothing but bush for like hundreds of miles. So there's mines up there, and they fly all the workers in. A lot of them they've kind of moved into Kapuskasing or other little towns up along the highway here, and they can just fly them into the mines as like a charter flight. So that's the Kapuskasing airport. It's just up the road there. And I didn't want to do a show from the Kapuskasing airport because when I did it from Ottawa, there's like no planes. And I think here there's chances of even less planes. And we had some freezing rain and some rain before this, before the warm weather came in. And yeah, so there wouldn't be anything flying anyways, and I'd be freezing. So actually, there's the cool thing about why I chose this location here at the Welcome Center in Cap is that I'm actually underneath there's like a little awning here, and so I figured if it's raining, at least I can stay dry. My computer will stay nice and dry, and I won't have to buy any more gear or anything like that. So yeah, so the Kapuskasing Airport's just up there. They have a pretty long runway. Guessing, I don't know. I've never actually been to it, but remember it's something like 4,500 feet, which can handle most of your little, I don't know, medium-sized airplanes. We'll say maybe not the big jets. And so right across from the an interesting thing about Kapuskasing that some people don't know is that the right across from the airport down the road, there's the General Motors cold weather testing facility. And so any of your General Motors cars before they're actually released to the public, we'll say, uh, they test them out in Kapuskasing here, and they you can see on Google Maps where it is, and they have a little track there they can go around. And normally it gets really cold here. It can be oh geez, yeah. I think any time I've ever been here before in the wintertime around this time, it's always been at least minus 20. I think minus 32 was about the record cold that fire up the car in the morning and drive back down south. But yeah, so the cold weather cars, and then I don't know. I guess if you wanted to be a real hardcore spy for General Motors products, they test them sometimes. I've heard from a local that and I'm kind of looking over here because that's my microphone. Yeah, I've heard from a local here that what they'll do sometimes is they'll take them down to the Chevy dealership here, but they're all covered in black, and you can't see exactly what the model looks like. So it's pretty cool. Hey Jim, nice one. So and I'll just kind of show you what I got going on here too. I hope my video or my audio is okay. I'd probably hear something if it was not, but if Vanessa Kitty ever watches this, I'm still using the old. Okay, we got the toque over top of the fuzzy mitten. So the fuzzy mitten has made its way all the way up to Kapuskasing, Ontario. So we'll just cover that back up. And yeah, pretty cool. And okay, that's about it for today. I got 3 things I got to do on my list. Ooh, pretty busy. And I'm going to be back. Not sure exactly where my next stream will be. Could be outside. Oh, thanks, Jackie. And yeah, so I'm not sure exactly where my next stream will be on Monday, but I will be doing no matter where I am. Nice one, Jim. So yeah, another yeah. So I will be doing this one on Monday because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern, no matter where I am, and that's about it. I think we'll just kind of shut her down here. Kind of, my fingers might be getting a little cold here now, but hey, cool. So thanks for showing up, and thanks for watching. Hey, here we go. All right, bye.